motherfuckers weren't there when everyone and their fucking mom came at us. You motherfuckers weren't there when I got the false accusation against me. You motherfuckers weren't there when this bitch lied and said that I got her pregnant when I fucking did it. And then you dumbasses, 3 years later, believe some bitch that makes the same fucking allegations again.
He could be ranting about what I think he's ranting about. No way, no way. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Look, I was not going to cover any of this stuff, but it has escalated so quickly that I can finally, confidently, and loudly say that this right here might be the actual potential death of the red pill community on YouTube. So last time that we were on this channel, we had a bunch of allegations and accusations from Walter from the Fresh and Fit podcast saying that he had gotten an Asian escort 304 supermodel pregnant. And since then, so much has happened that we have to unpack it. That little snippet that you heard was Myron going on an entirely unnecessary rampage after people were pressing the B stars of these guys by saying that they are frauds, they are scammers, they are grifters because these guys have accusations out there against them.
A lot of you motherfuckers are jellyfish, and that's the reason why a lot of you motherfuckers are fat, triple chin, neck bearded, pieces of shit, fucking dorks with no money, and no one fucking respects you. If I stand with Fresh, I die with Fresh. It is what it is.
Now, you would think with the way that he was talking, it would be something more dire or more sinister, you know, on some Epstein Island, P. Diddy type of conversations. But the only thing that happened was Walter got a woman that he fell in love with, who he was showing off to his mom, buying gifts for, etc. He got her pregnant. This is an insane level of behavior. But there's only one reason why you would act like this at a time like this, and I'm gonna explain why later in the video, but we gotta continue to watch this.
My soul, I stand with my fucking friends, period. It pisses me off how soft all you motherfuckers are, bro. It's ridiculous. You motherfuckers haven't stepped in the gym in 3 weeks trying to tell me how to fucking be loyal to my fucking friends. I'm not going anywhere.
Now, the reason why he's being questioned about going anywhere or, you know, getting off the platform is because people are saying that they're frauds and they are grifters. Now, Walter isn't helping the case at all because ultimately on this same exact live stream in which they had a divorce lawyer come on there and try to help out Walter's case, he admits to doing the unthinkable, something that an alpha male could never do in this entire business.
I will say this. I personally should not have nutted within a 304 like this.
Oh, brother. Now, if there was any plausible deniability as to what happened in this situation at all, it is totally out the window. Not only has he gone on record multiple times by saying that if you see me out with a woman, that is my girlfriend. If she's meeting my mother, that is my girlfriend. And now we have proof and evidence for said actions to be on the internet. But we also have one of the most embarrassing interviews between the young lady and Abba and Preach, where she spills all the beans just as to how simp-like Walter has been this entire time in this relationship.
Live stream today, he said that you were never his girl.
He said that?
I made a statement on my vlog and on the show. If a girl's on camera with me, she is what? Not my girl. Just keep that in mind. You never see my girl because I know what happens when you break on the internet.
Look, I can't be oblivious to what's going on here. I know that Walter from the Fresh and Fit podcast is a high earning man who has this aesthetic of somebody valuable. So naturally, it is very possible that people would trick him to fall into situations in which they could get him pregnant. We can look at different NBA players as example, like Jalen Green or Zion Williamson. But the difference is, and this is where I lose any sort of sad feeling for a Walter in this situation, is that you're saying all these things and you've built your platform on being such an alpha male, but then on the other side you have all this video evidence of you out here tricking off on what ends up being a 304, which you then turn around and diminish her name on the platform, and then you lie so bad about her that Abba and Preach have to do this interview in which they have to ask this young lady all these questions to get to the real bottom of this because you are a liar.
Well, he's just making him like idiot right now because clearly like he made that on public, and on the conversation you saw it. He calls me girlfriend, right? Are you gonna take someone to see your entire family if she's not your girlfriend? Travel to your home country? That's not reasonable.
He is making himself seem like an idiot because ultimately none of this stuff would have even been the greatest in the world if he would have came out forthcoming and said, hey, this is my girlfriend and this is somebody that I find to be a good match. Unless he knew all these things to be true about her before, which I believe that he did, he knew that a video would come out about her potentially being an escort in the situation. But what boggles my mind in all this situation is that you knew that all this evidence out there existed about you and what you were doing with that young woman. You knew that there were pictures, you knew that there were videos, you knew that you took her to meet your mom, you knew that there was a receipt for the Van Cleef bracelet, you knew that all these things were either in the possession of her or somewhere on the internet, yet you still went about it in this same situation that you did, instead of just maybe openly admitting that you effed up and got a 304 pregnant. I think a lot of people would have been more understanding of that, saying, hey man, you done had sex with a lot of different girls and you know, you got one pregnant out of thousands of women. That's totally fine. They would have said you were crazy, but it wouldn't have been this big deal that you've you've made it out to be. And now you're making yourself seem even worse because not only does it look like you lied to get in the pussy, you've also been lying about wanting a baby.
He claimed he never wanted a baby. Would that be true?
If he really didn't want a baby, after so many times I asked him in person, do not come in me. He does that every fucking day. He was always like, oh, I'm doing this with my girlfriend. So really serious conversation. Oh, I want to plan a future with you. Why don't we get a house instead of renting another apartment? That doesn't make sense. What if you get pregnant? Isn't that better for a bigger house?
Every time this woman speaks, it's only validated by Walter in his message coming afterwards by admitting that he did do all these things. So at this point, I have to throw out everything from this woman. Yes, she's still a 304. That's been proven to be true on the internet. Yes, she may have only been in it for the money, but at the end of the day, Walter either fell right into the trap or went along with it because he did not even care. He was so reckless with his body. He was so reckless with his actions. He was so reckless with his decision making. He has to go out on a platform that he built on the basis of being the controller of your own destiny, not cuffing these 304s, not wifing these sex workers, especially when you make this money not having a baby with them, wrapping it up, telling people that these are the things that he would never do, and he has all this evidence that is damaging to his brand. Me personally, if I was a watcher of the show, I would have a real life problem with this guy lying to me. And so that's why you have Myron on the show crashing out about it, because people are asking him to do these things. And it's only gotten worse because now there's some sort of legal aspects to it. We saw in the past video that he is potentially going to have some sort of court case because she's wanting child support in this situation. They tried to clear it up, but he needs to get off that show because he can't control himself and his words and his actions. But that has caused Myron to just totally do some things that are honestly out of control.
It's like adults, but you wanted to run to the internet and illegally record him. You committed another felony, by the way. And you best believe I'm calling immigration on you. You shouldn't even be here. You're in the United States committing crimes, and you committed crimes back in China as well. And we have proof of that. You are a fucking sex worker.
So in such a fit of rage to prove that he and Walter are just correcting the situation, Myron has decided that they're going to gravitate to a specific point in the conversation and attack that by attacking what will ultimately end up being potentially Walter's baby mother. Because, you know, maybe she had sex with a lot of different men, although she did and he did admit to busting up inside of her on several different occasions. Maybe there is some possibilities that the baby isn't his. But what Myron is about to do is go on this entire smear campaign, painting her as a Chinese escort as if that makes the situation any sort of better for him. When in reality, it's going to make it worse if you prove that she is an escort, because now there's undeniable proof by Walter admitting, hey, he did bust up inside of me. B, there is a level of a relationship there where I met his mom. And now C, she is a confirmed sex worker, not by anybody else in their videos, but by Myron himself on the internet. You can't be grasping for more straws any harder than this.
I have here a Chinese police report. Guys, this is a police report where she basically stole money from an individual. At about 1940 on the evening of August 27, 2018, the reporter came to the police station to report that he met with a Chinese woman at about 12 o'clock noon on August 27, 2018 at lane 288 of Daza Road and exchanged 6,000 yuan for 870 with this woman. So basically he wanted her to give him cash. At around 4:45 on August 27, 2018, the woman hailed a car through Didi Taxi and then asked the reporter for 6,000 RMB. And then the reporter gave 6,000 RMB to the woman, and the two got in the car. Soon after, she claimed that she needed to get money from China Construction Bank, name of the bank, and asked to stop at the China Construction Bank on Yongjia Road, Zhuish District, Shanghai. But the woman did not return 10 minutes after getting out the car, and the reporter sent a message to the woman, but she replied she didn't want to meet the reporter. The reporter felt that he had been defrauded, so he reported the case.
Myron doesn't even realize what he's doing here as an adverse side effect. It is showing that the woman that Walter ultimately laid down with, had multiple interactions in a girlfriend-like manner with, is a bad person, which goes against everything about their brand. Being brand conscious is very interesting and important on the internet. And I think Fresh and Fit have done a pretty piss poor job the entire time they've been on the internet of doing that, especially because there's so much evidence on the internet that goes against not only what they preach, but the image that they are. After the passing of Kevin Samuels, I was quoted as saying that somebody's going to rise up to those ranks and take over those reins to be the new faces of the manosphere, the Red Pill community. And ultimately, Fresh and Fit were those ones for a very long time. However, just like in other situations that we've proven in the past, just because you call yourself this, just because you rise to the ranks in these regards, does not mean that deep down inside who you are won't reveal itself eventually. Ultimately, these two guys are not the Red Pill guys, the ultra machismo, you know, beat on my chest guys that people think they are because of the way they portray on the internet. The actions portrayed by Walter in this situation shows that he is somebody who is inexperienced, fell in love with the 304, and he's acting like a child. At the end of the day, in the beginning of the night, wrap it up. All these other conversations to the left and the right do not matter if he puts a condom on. But I'm not here to save him. He made his bed. He's got to lay in it at this point. We'll see how this thing shakes up in the near future. It's looking ugly for him. Everything is kind of out there now, but I can only imagine what's going to come next. Let me guys know what you think in the comments. This is crazy.